A Chinese crazy madman. Someone made me aware of this case in the comment section and checked it out and realized this is definitely a case I need to share. Chinese serial killers? Haven't done many of them, if any at all. So let's get right into this one because it's pretty fucking crazy. The perpetrator in this case is Lam Kor-wan. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I'm sorry for any Chinese watchers out there. I mispronounced it probably, but Chinese is a pretty bizarre language to me, to be honest. Regardless, Lam worked as a taxi driver who picked up female passengers, strangle them with electrical wire, take them to his family home and dismember them. His English moniker, the Jar's Murderer, was coined when the police revealed that he had hoarded sexual organs in Tupperware containers. He was a keen photographer and frequently took pictures and video of his victims, filming himself performing an act of necrophilia with his fourth victim. The Chinese press nicknamed him the Rainy Night Butcher because several of his attacks occurred during inclement weather. He shared his bedroom with his brother, who was unaware of his activities. He worked a night shift, so he was able to dismember victims at home during the daytime without his immediate family finding out. The brother was initially a suspect in the investigation, but police later determined that Lam acted alone. The bodies were disposed of via his taxi in the New Territories and on Hong Kong Island, and all were eventually located. He was arrested by plainclothes officers on the 17th of August 1982. He'd attempted to develop photographs of one of his dismembered victims at a Hong Kong Kodak shop. The shop manager in Mong Kok tipped off the police and they were waiting for him when he returned to pick up the photos. When confronted, he claimed that the photographs belonged to a friend of his who worked on a ship who would meet him shortly. When the man did not appear, the police accompanied Lam to his parents' first-floor apartment on Kwai Chow Street and performed a search. There, they located an old ammunition box in the bedroom he shared with his brother. The box also contained pornography and more photographs of body parts, videotapes and several Tupperware containers containing women's sexual organs. This kinda reminds me of Ed Gein, man, this case. Pretty fucking gruesome. Must make the house stink, you would think, but nobody suspected anything in his immediate family home. Pretty bizarre, isn't it? On the 8th of April in 1983, at the end of a long 3-week trial with a 7-man jury, he was found guilty of 4 counts of murder and sentenced to death by hanging. On the 29th of August in 1984, his sentence was commuted to a life imprisonment. He is currently serving his life sentence at the maximum security prison facility at Shek Pik. When speaking to psychiatrist Dr. William Green, Lam stated that he ate part of the intestine of one of the victims, and that his motivation was not primarily sexual, but that it was God who told him to kill the victims. Now his victims were a woman named Shang Feng Lan, a female aged 22, and her body found in 7 separate pieces in a river. The other one was Chan Wan Kit, aged 31, and her body found in a rice bag. Another one was Liang Sao Wan, a female aged 29, also found in a rice bag. And the 4th victim was 17 years old, Wei Sum, and her body was also found in a rice bag. Moreover, according to the interview of a former journalist, police at that moment found that 15 female bodies were taken into Lam's photos. However, they could identify only 4, which were the 4 victims known in this case. The victims in this case were identified by 2 lecturers from the Prince Philip Dental Hospital, part of the University of Hong Kong, who created and perfected a new system of photo superimposition. This involved taking a mortem photograph of the possible victim with a radiograph X-ray of post-mortem skull of the possible victim and superimposing the photo on the skull and matching similarities, just as is done with fingerprints. That sounds like a bizarre procedure to someone like me who has no knowledge of how that actually works, but it is what it is, right? Regardless, this was one sick serial killer, as you could hear, and that's why I wanted to share it on CreepyNews, because these are pretty obscure, most likely to the Western world. In spite of that, we realize that even in Asia, there's some crazy people out there that murder, dismember, and do all sorts of fucked up shit to other people. Lucky for us, we're not a victim just yet. You never know what the future might bring, but I hope it will bring you happiness, and I hope these victims are resting in peace. As always, dear viewer, have sweet dreams.